Hey, what the fuck you just do?
Well, I control the jumps. You wanted him down, he's down.
Hey, come here.
Come where?
Here with me.
Party's over. What's going on?
Get in here. Hey, okay. No bullshit. You want to kill yourself?
Oh, for Christ.
Shut up! Yes or no? You want to die? Yes or no?
I got the job done. What the hell do you
Just
want?
answer the question.
Oh, what do you want to hear, man? Do you want to hear that sometimes I think about eating a bullet? Huh? Well, I do. I do. I even got a special one for the occasion with a hollow point. Look, make sure it blows the back of my goddamn head out. Do the job right. Every single day I wake up and I think of a reason not to do it. Every single day. And you know why I don't do it? This is going to make you laugh. You know why I don't do it? The job. Doing the job. Now, that's the reason.
You want to die?
I'm not afraid of it. I ain't afraid of it.
Here, take my gun. Don't nibble on the barrel. Pull the trigger. Go ahead, pal. Be my guest. Go ahead if you're serious.
You shouldn't tempt me, man.
Put it in your mouth. Bullet might go through your ear and not kill you.
Yeah, under the chin.
Yeah, under the chin. Ow! You're not trying to draw a psycho pension. You really are crazy.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna go and get something to eat.
So everybody, it's another November, and we have to do another franchise. Why do we have to do another franchise? Because I always said this was like our anniversary month or some shit like that, and I still don't know why I always said it was our anniversary month. And then it became, let's just do franchises that month. And what sparked was us doing The Matrix with a good buddy, Duke, and we had several good shows on that. And then in the following year, I said, let's rekindle that. Terminator. And I gotta be honest with you, Genesis is one of the funniest shits we have ever done. And now this year, we're finally doing something that Chris has always wanted to do. That's why he's sitting here with a 1980s style mustache, with gray hairs in his chin, saying that he's too old for this shit. We're finally doing Lethal Weapon. Christopher, are you finally happy with this shit? Because I know you are.
I'm happy because we get to follow the saga of Lethal Weapon. This franchise, and then I'm like, oh man, this franchise is great, and then Lethal Weapon 4 happened, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And
Well, I had by the way, I meant to also mention that last year we did The Karate Kid, and that surprised me how many people actually listened to that. Who knew?
And then we got the Lethal Weapon TV series, which is actually good.
It's pretty good. It's shockingly good actually, because I really thought nobody would give a fuck. I really thought it was going to be one of those things where Damon Wayans actually pours his heart into a role, and Fox goes, that's very nice, Damon. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
No, it's rolling, and it's pretty damn good. I like it. It makes me sad. It makes me sad because it reminds me of it makes me say it could have made Fastlane work. But
damn it, D. That's what I was just about to say. I was just gonna say, it could have been worse. They could have produced it in the same way as Fastlane, where they just went.
They almost did.
And I'm talking about every episode was over budget.
You know what? I forgot that was Fastlane's. Are we ever going to do Fastlane for Bam?
I would like to. I would really like to.
Here's the problem about that. Eris and Bamanites. So what we call them, Bamonians, whatever. Anyway,
Bam
here's the problem about that. D don't like fucking Bill Bellamy. So
I know you don't like.
I think we've said that, Joe, multiple times. Like,
well, I discriminate against that taco meat hair having ass nigga. Oh, I hate that nigga. But whatever. Anyway.
I am talking about it only because my girl Kelly from Saved by the Bell is the boss on that show.
oh yeah,
It's always a thing with
yeah,
I like that. I like that with you, Eris. There's always a fruit, if you will, on the top of the tree that you have to.
Now,
but that.
But here's the thing. So, Lethal Weapon is what I like to call probably it gets lauded as like the quintessential buddy comedy. If anything, it's the twisted. We've had other movies prior to this that have done buddy cop kind of aspects to them and stuff, but this is kind of the movie that most people kind of go to when it comes to buddy cop movies and tropes and stuff.
But CJ, you want to know the funny thing that I found about it? See, this was my first time watching Lethal Weapon in like years. I mean, God knows, I can't even remember the last time I saw the first. No, I can't remember the last time I watched the first Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know that this franchise is known for like being like the buddy cop comedy, like action comedy and all that. And also, and by the way, I'm going to go ahead and just throw that out there. Yes, this is this movie.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, yes, it is a Christmas. Oh, by the way, hello everyone.
Yeah,
what's up, dude? Now the thing I noticed is I was like, when I watched this movie, I said, like with the other ones, I've always expected something funny to pop off. Even just laughing at just the silly shit that unfolds. But the first one comes off to me as a more serious buddy cop movie.
Yeah,
maybe it's just me.
I mean, yeah.
It just comes off more serious than how most buddy cop movies are portrayed, where it's like every 5 minutes a joke is thrown in.
And that's the thing is that and when you watch the stuff is that the one thing the characters seem more grounded, and as the series goes on, the comedy is more more pronounced.
Yep.
And
yeah.
And it
because
goes from good stuff.
You gotta think about it. You you see the comedy in this one too.
Well, but it's
you see the comedy, but it's like it's not it's not as like out there and in your face as the sequels get.
Yeah, because if you think about it, this is a movie like Mel Gibson. He's coming off of Mad Max and stuff, and like he's this Australian I ain't gonna say serious actor, but like. He had intensity to him and stuff. And it is when you see him as fucking, Riggs, Riggs is a man on edge. Like, this is a guy that lost his life in an accident, which when we get to Lethal Weapon 2, they actually follow up with that. With Danny Glover, who, what's funny about Danny Glover is the fact that Danny Glover, he had a very weird action career, because outside of Lethal Weapon, I don't know if we touched on it when we did the Predator stuff, but it was funny that in Predator 2, he actually worked out and bulked up a little bit for Predator 2. And I was like,
we didn't speak about that. We didn't speak on that. Danny Glover kind of gave a fuck about what movies he did, but Danny Glover didn't hide the fact that he was an old man.
Yeah, so, this one he embraced manism. It's like, but
it's funny that in Predator 2 he just said he was like this, like he worked out. Yeah, Little Weapon came out 3 years before Predator 2.
Yeah.
So
and it felt like it was basically it felt like it was basically Murtaugh carried over in Predator 2.
That's what I was thinking. Like the other funny bit is that Predator 1 didn't even come out yet.
I thought Predator 1 came out in like 80. Oh, okay, 89. My bad. Yeah. And so, like, with this movie, like I said, as we go into the series, this was like Shane. This was the movie that like opened it up with Shane Black in terms of him writing these kind of movies, the buddy cop movies and that of its ilk and stuff in terms of the tropes and stuff. And like with this movie, you had Riggs as this kind of like cop who lost his wife and now he's kind of on edge and nobody wants to partner up with him. Then you got Murtaugh who got like 3 kids, rebuilding a house. The first time we actually see like, you know, they talk about finances with cops a little bit. At least with Murtaugh, he's like, I got 3 kids, I got this house, we got to sell it, you know, and all this stuff. And it's hilarious because it's just like Murtaugh, the quintessential. He got like a full house of family and he's dealing with the typical dad shit.
My man's got a
family matters theme here.
My man's got a power boat.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Power boat. You know how? No.
Boy,
Do you know how good?
Hold on. No, wait. You know how good a cop's salary was in 1987? A black cop at that?
That's what I'm saying. Do you know how good it had to feel as a black man to have a boat?
I mean,
Really?
and the kicker is that, like, as we get through the series and stuff, they do touch on, like, his kids. One of them being Rianne, who, you know, his daughter, and how it's funny, over the series, she grows up, they kind of touch on what she's doing in every movie and stuff, and his son, particularly in, I think, 2 or 3. It might be 2.
I think it's the third one. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. But like they touch on that, and like the youngest, she's just there. But I just find it funny that they kept it. It was actually kind of funny to me about that. I was like, oh well, at least they didn't forget the third kid. That's interesting. But yeah, like the aspect that Rianne has like a crush on Riggs, which is hilarious. But
I mean, you know, I would love to hear, because it's different now.
Yeah.
But back then, I love to hear all the moans from all the black men and some of the black women. Oh, she getting on that white dude. Ugh.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
This was 1987 Mel Gibson. Come on, look at that hair.
Look,
see, that's the funny thing.
Mel Gibson.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris. Ain't that kind of real quick? Ain't that kind of funny how black women in particular was like, oh no, let's celebrate these Asian men, and they were like fondling over all these Asian men all over Twitter and all that shit. That was actually very cool to me, because it's like, yeah, we're women. That nigga got abs. Let me rub myself. Awesome. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's still a dude. So yes, Mel Gibson, late 80s Mel Gibson. Fuck yeah.
That was crazy though. So Tracy Wolf,
that Australian accent.
He was trying his best to hide that Australian accent. You're right. Like,
hey, every time he had that madman smile, I say smiles and anti-Semite.
Yo, it's amazing. Mel Gibson, for a guy, like, people, okay, Mel Gibson.
Wait, hold up. I just realized something.
Mm-hmm.
Is this our first Mel Gibson movie?
Yes, it is.
Ooh. Yeah!
Mel Gibson is the person that, like, he is you are never canceled. Because, holy fuck, man, that guy said some anti-Semitic stuff. And he said some anti-Semitic stuff. And I think only because I didn't excuse it. But some people excuse it on, well, Mel Gibson was drunk. I'm like, he probably meant that shit. Do
you know how fucking strong you gotta be to be in Jewish Hollywood and come out like that and still get fucking movies? Your phone still rings, nigga.
I mean, because
your phone fucking still rings. Do you know how fucking hard, nigga? That is gangster. That's gangster shit.
Oh,
and I hate to be the person. I respect that shit. How the fuck you do that? Damn, that is fucking sad, America.
Yeah.
Oh wait, CJ. I just remembered earlier when I said that that Mel Gibson was getting not Mel Gibson. That Danny Glover was getting himself ready for Predator 2. Funny thing is, this movie came out a few months before the first one. Because the first one came out in 87.
Oh, okay.
You said 89.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know why I was thinking 89.
I was like, wait, Predator in 89?
No, but here's the part. Me, Duke, and Eris. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, but I mean, it's not because you know what it is.
Too.
You know what it is, though?
Actually, Duke, I was more like, yeah, wait a minute.
You know what it is, though? I think it's because I didn't say, like, 1990, so in our heads, we're triggering, like, so I guess Chris is right. All right. Yeah.
What about you, D? Go to my mind. Meow, 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 meow,
Now,
meow.
here's the thing, right? Now, I laugh because the homie Tracy Wolf, right? She still looks the fucking same now. I just laugh at the fact. Yeah, she still looks the same, but I'm just laughing at the fact that she looks like she is so, like, momish. And she is a mom, but it's like, man, she embraced that. She's like somebody that should be on, like, the home and garden levels of mom.
Dude, it's funny. Hey, Chris, it's funny. Last week we did New Nightmare, and I saw present day Heather Langenkamp, and I'm like, Jesus.
In a good way or bad way?
No, this is me. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. Why white people get old? I'm sorry, Heather. That was mean. My bad.
See, I thought so basically Kathleen.
Some people just don't know how to age well.
So basically Kathleen turned on like, whoa. Okay, I guess that happened.
Nah. I don't think it's Kathleen Turner. I think it's like Megan Foster, where her eyes were so pretty, you just didn't realize that she turned into a fucking out of nowhere.
Bruh, Megan Foster in Jeepers Creepers 3. Holy shit.
Megan Foster, no, real talk. Megan Foster back in the 80s or 70s. Oh, dude. Oh, my God. Hot. Then, I don't know what happened. White people magic. Something happened.
Tracy Wolf, she's on the level of aging where it's like, oh yeah, she aged very gracefully. She aged like a mixed person. It's like, oh, she Vanessa Williams has that tinge of Vanessa Williams. She has that tinge of white lady aging a little bit, just a little bit. You know, it's like the whiteness is creeping up there a little bit.
It's like you and I discussed this about Halle Berry, where she's getting white woman lines on her neck and shit. We talked about that.
Yeah, that's Tracy Wolf a little bit. Vanessa Williams, they're getting there. It's like, oh, you see a little bit of it, but she's aging gracefully and stuff. Like again, she looks like she should be the spokesperson for like HGTV. Like, I'm Tracy Wolf and you're watching HGTV, that kind of thing. But okay, so. So basically, Murtaugh.
Hey, first of all, CJ, I know you noticed that that picture I posted in the group chat.
I saw the picture. Don't get it twisted here. Do not get it twisted here. But all I'm saying is, see, that's the one from Damn. See, this is what happens when people sit there and put up celeb images and stuff, and it's Tracy fucking Bingham. I don't know why people sat there and said that's Tracy Wolf.
Wait, that's Tracy
Bingham.
It's
Tracy Bingham, man. I know my tits I know my tits when I see them.
Hey, you want to know the truth? Hey, D is about to be savage as hell. Tracy Bingham, I'm sorry. I am so sorry you tried and failed.
Hey, let's be real, bitch. Tracy Bingham, when I saw her on that...
That was a hot 3 years for her, wasn't it?
Tracy Bingham, when I saw her on that reality show, and as soon as I heard her speaking, I was like, yes, you're one of those bougie black chicks that wants to be white so bad. God bless you.
Oh my God, man.
Oh my God, Ron Jeremy. Oh my God, I love you.
Oh,
okay. All right. That was all right, CJ. That was my bad. Here, this is.
Fun.
I see the pictures here.
No. Really think about it, Eric. Look amazing. When did me and Chris ever going to talk about Tracy Bingham ever again on this fucking show?
That is true, man. That is true. It's not like
real,
dude. Yo, here's what's gonna happen. 5 years from now, when we're still doing the show, I'm gonna look at D and Eris gonna be like, so guys, we reached that level of 3 Black Geeks where we're finally gonna talk about Baywatch, and D is gonna look at me like, fuck you, Chris, that's not happening still. It's not happening.
Meanwhile, hold on, CJ. Meanwhile, here's me sitting in the corner. I don't know about binging this shit.
As Eris has a kid on his kid on his lap, and he's like, and his wife is like, so you're just gonna let your child just watch all these titties flop in front of you, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna quit in front of the child.
Just gonna watch Pamela Anderson's tits in front of a child. All right.
Yo, hey, look.
They went through a reduction like season 3. All right. Let me enjoy out there Pamela Anderson tits from season 1 and 2. Okay.
Tracy Bingham was trying to be the replacement. Tracy Bingham tried her best to be there to be the replacement. I am mad that they really tried to pull some fucking CSI with Baywatch Nights, Baywatch LA and shit like that. I'm making that up, folks. Don't shoot me.
You know something, CJ? It's funny. and it is funny that you mentioned Tracy Bingham now, because I remember, if you're when you guys went to when I came back home and we went to my storage spot, and I opened up that freaking storage bin. That freaking bin that had all those magazines, game magazines, like video game magazines, and like also, I remember there was a cover of Excite magazine, and Tracy Bingham was on the cover of it.
Yeah, she is. Look, I'm looking at her on Instagram.
That was a fun 3 years, wasn't it, Tracy?
Hey, I'm looking at her on Instagram, and she's trying her best to still keep up with these Instagram models. So, hey.
Has she resorted to thirst trapping yet?
Not really from some of the researchers, so it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
I get a question.
But hold on, but just real quick, I did redeem myself by posting up Home and Garden Tracy Wolf in the group chat.
Home and Garden Tracy Wolf right now. God bless her. Hey, she found something here. But going back to Lethal
everybody has their own path in life, and you can too. You want to join? Look, everybody has their path in life. Chris, thank you, Tracy. Do you want to join the Church of Scientology? Wow. I see. You know what? I didn't.
But if we get back to Lethal Weapon, though, what I enjoyed about this is that I think, like Duke mentioned, the fact that the comedy was there, but it was more so the situational of Riggs to Murtaugh's family and dynamics. Because what I love about Murtaugh's family, and again, if we're going back to D pointed out when we were at San Diego with Black Lightning, Black love, because Murtaugh and Trish, they love each other. That's a fucking family. That is a family. That is a husband and my folks. The way they both of them were like, so we're gonna remodel that bathroom up there, and the way they both are like talking about it, it's like, oh, that's some fucking
good old black acting.
That is good old black acting. It's like I can see my mom and dad talking regular old conversation right there.
Especially when the husband knows for a fact that his wife cannot cook.
Oh man!
All the kids busting that. No, here's the thing. All the kids busting the bathroom singing. He's sitting in a pool in a tub, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, I hope none of them kids are staring at their dad's hog.
I like the fact that he rolled up in there, and I'm like, so they're just gonna bust up in the bathroom. If I did that shit, my dad would look at me like, "What the fuck out the goddamn bathroom?"
Exactly.
What are you doing here?
I think at least wait for me to get out. Damn.
Like Trish busting up in there, that's fine. Trish busting up there, that's fine. That's par for the course. But the kids, it's like, come on, kids. Like come on.
And I know they're trying, but that's the thing. They're just trying to just approach from Rupert Murtaugh's like happy life to Riggs as well, screwed up
gun
life.
In his mouth, and I'm like, yo, this shit got dark.
While watching Bugs Bunny.
I know, right?
I gotta be honest.
Hold up.
Which one of you died laughing?
Wait a second. First of all, he's watching Bugs Bunny, but prior to that, we see him feeding his dog tan line ass cheeks.
Man, he living a life, man, as a single white dude on the beach.
I gotta be honest with you, bro. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. It's good in 80s, wasn't it, y'all? Wasn't it good in 80s?
I mean, look, man, this dude is putting a gun in his mouth with, like you said, dude, with Bugs Bunny playing in the background. I'm sorry. Wow.
It actually added to it because we already think that Riggs is crazy, right? So it adds to the scene where he's slowly putting, and you hear Porky Pig in the background trying to sing, and he's like, and I'll be honest with you, if you actually listen to the Looney Tunes in that part, they are funny as fuck with the background. It is like it's fun at the same time. It's like, oh my god, he's about to really shoot himself. And to give it up, Mel Gibson pulls it off very well, yeah.
Yeah,
it's cheesy in 80s, but it's good cheesy in 80s. I love it.
Hey, you want to know something else? You want to know what makes this movie so great? This movie is so 80s that it became self-aware that they even talk about 80s men. They're like, 80s men. Look. When I heard 80s men and crying, I'm like, oh God, they're self-aware. We're not even 30 minutes in and it became self-aware.
God damn it, movie, you're moving.
I mean, but this is stuff. If you look at modern action movies now, it's rare that you get a character like a Riggs who is suicidal and shit on that level and just fucking outright crazy.
Yeah.
And the movie addresses it. The movie don't fucking gloss over it because Riggs has somebody at his police gets paired up with Murtaugh that's like a psychologist, and he just brushes this shit off, and it's like, yo, dude, you're fucking, like, you're crazy. You need that psychologist. Like,
now here's the but it does go into, like you said, it does go like some state of police officer and all that. But it makes me say, like, holy shit, would that actually still happen today?
I don't know, man.
Because I think about how
what would happen is what would happen to be the same thing in the movie. They would just
exactly.
Yeah. They'll just get transferred and they'll shoot another black person and just sprinkle crack on them. That's how it works.
And speaking of shooting a black person, man, I'm gonna jump ahead for a hot second. There was a part where, God, I feel that. I feel that from back then to today, because when they were going to the house, and the house explodes, and the kids were witnesses. And when here you got Danny Glover asking one of the kids, "Hey, what's your name?" So the kid's like, "Don't say your name. Don't say your name. Like they gonna try to arrest you." And one of the kids said, "It's like, wait, you're a cop?" "Yeah." "I heard that cops all shoot people."
Man, listen.
No. And Danny Glover was like, no. I'm a good cop. I don't just shoot I don't shoot no black people. I don't believe you.
See, if that was updated for times, I believe you. Black Lives Matter. Yay.
Black Lives Matter, nigga. Yeah, that's what we're doing around here.
Man, when I just hearing the kids say, "I thought cops only shoot black people," I'm like, oh God.
Now Richard Donner that directed this movie, and I think we've talked about that with Beverly Hills Cop and a lot of other movies that we've done in the past from like the 80s and early 90s, and the fact that Richard Donner was one of many directors that directed, a lot of action movies. Did you know before they got Richard Donner
and all that stuff?
Yeah, did you know before they got Richard Donner, the studio was considering getting Leonard Nimoy. Now, people might sit there and say Leonard Nimoy? Leonard Nimoy actually was directing movies. He was.
I mean, I'm not saying that he did, but Leonard Nimoy?
I know. Now, Leonard Nimoy, he was going to do it, but he said he literally said, and I quote, that he wasn't comfortable doing action movies. So instead, he did 3 Men and a Baby, which he was actually a pretty good movie. And
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. So he worked out.
And if I may, I just need to do this and get this out the way real quick. I thought cops only shoot black people. Cue the black and white. All around me are familiar faces.
Yo, Danny Glover's face for a hot second was looking like shit. Damn.
So,
and this was 87 when black people was getting killed.
Pre-Rodney King
by
too?
The cops.
Pre-Rodney
King.
Public Enemy playing in the background.
NWA playing in the background.
Radio.
So this movie basically starts off well, all of this has to so what's the villain? Who's the villains of this movie?
No, hold on. I'll tell you who the villain was. The villain was whoever let that poor white girl with the exposed 1987 titty commit suicide.
Man,
killed that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, misogyny done right. See, we date our titties here at 3 Black Geeks to let you know the authenticity.
We
just don't talk about breasts. We don't just expose them and say, looks good, zungas. No, we say, look at them, admire them. They are a beautiful woman, and that's what makes her powerful. And them nipples was nice, wasn't they, my nigga?
I think we touched on that. When we did Trading Places, I think I touched on the fact when them chicks with the titties popped up in front of Eddie Murphy in the house. I was like, oh, those are some 80s titties right there.
Yeah.
You know what? By the way, you know what I love about this? The villain. I know.
Hold on, can I point out something? When she committed suicide and landed on the car, I love the fact that she looked like she was lying on a hammock.
Yeah, here's the thing about here's the thing about these movies when they show suicide, right? It's the fact that they do in the most dramatic of fashion, like, oh, this person fell off like the 15th floor of a building and they land on the car and crush it and their body doesn't explode when they do it. It's just like, Boom, there. So the thing about it is,
Well, actually, CJ, there's either that or there's homeboy from Skyscraper who falls and it's like barely a puddle of blood.
I know, right? So, so here's the thing. So Riggs and Murtaugh, the whole purpose of they get together and it's the usual, like, Murtaugh, he knows about Riggs being this guy that's crazy, and the rumor around the police department is that he's just going crazy because he wanted to get, money out of it and stuff, right? And tolerates it for a short time. I think for the short, like, maybe 20, 30 minutes of the movie, Murtaugh's just like, yo, I'm just tolerating you for right now. Let's just get this shit done and over with.
Now here's the thing that gets me, is that he does come off more like an asshole to me. Whereas he didn't even do nothing crazy yet. Okay,
yeah, no.
It's like this. Okay, now he did do that one crazy thing. Well, come on, my nigga. You can't be... Yo, why are you pressing him like that,
no,
nigga?
But what made it funny though is when he touches Riggs on his shoulder and Riggs flips his ass over and puts his gun on him and stuff. I was like, oh shit, like this is Riggs was serious. Yeah. And Riggs at this point, he got his fucking hat on and he has that intense look on his face. I'm like, oh shit.
And I'm thinking, like, yo, there's a lot of, like, super dragons in this movie, and then a lot of over-the-top, high-octane action. And I told myself, only somebody with the power of cocaine could have came up with this. It was written by Joel Silver.
Of course.
This movie was written by Joel Silver. So I'm just
Joel Silver and Shane Black.
Yes.
So, full and well, Shane Black was just sitting there like, so, Joel, you sure we should do this? Yes, Shane, we should do it.
Look, meanwhile in the background, I love rock and roll.
Oh,
well, at least he's not doing anything, stupid like say, what he did to the latest Predator movie. But hey, this is the 80s.
No. If future Shane Black came back and was like, "Hey Shane, so you know what you're gonna do in the film, right?" No, you'll see. And by the way, you're gonna love coke. No, I'm not. Oh yes, you will.
Hey.
Oh, hold on. What did you say, D? Damn, I don't know if D cut out or not.
Shane, go over here. Come over here.
Oh, damn. Hold up. D, you sit there? No, what happened?
Skype happened.
That's what happened. Nah. Hold up. You there, D?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cut out for a second. That's why I was like,
No. Did you get the joke though?
Nah. It didn't. It cut out midway.
Hey Shane, come here, man. Your bush. Try to snort it off, okay?
So, Murtaugh has one of his old war buddies because, of course, he has an old war buddy.
Of course, it's Vietnam.
Of course, it's Vietnam. Which I would have never took Murtaugh as somebody that was a Vietnam War veteran, but okay, fine.
Also, look, hey, Chris. Also, we didn't think he would do enough action to be in Predator 2. He pulled it off.
Yeah. And the guy, the daughter, as you pointed out, dude, actually Eris pointed out the whole thing with the suicide. That was his boy's daughter that committed suicide. But when the police come back with the autopsy, she had a drain cleaner in her system.
Oh man, Drano, man, no, white crack Sasha. She was drinking bleach before it was cool.
Before she fell off the.
Before it became a meme. She was drinking bleach before it became a meme.
She was a trailblazer.
Yeah.
Duke, she was a trailblazer for that.
Yeah. 4chan. 4chan looks to the past to do this shit.
So what ends up happening is that and the thing about it is, and this goes as the bad guys are. Like, as Riggs points out later on in the movie, just jumping ahead, they're special forces. Because Riggs is special forces, too. And they're special forces. And one of his special forces buddies is good old playing Mr. Joshua.
Now, let me tell you something. The first time I did this movie back in 1985, wait a minute, it was 85 or 86, whatever. It's a hell of a time. Let me tell you something about Danny Glover. Penis is as big as my arm. The man is amazing. Let me also tell you something about Richard Donner. He had this little spider monkey that he kept inside of his trailer, right? Now, I never seen the son of a bitch, but I heard him, right? Like making monkey sounds, the shit like that. You ever had a monkey? You ever seen Really, did you see a monkey before? Yeah, them little sons of bitches. They're a motherfucker. Where was I going again? Yeah, Richard Donner. His penis was.
Now.
I don't know which is the best part. Is like which is going to be who's going to out crazy each other? Is it Gary Busey or it's going to be Mel Gibson? Who's going to out crazy?
Look, both of them in this movie, they were fucking batshit crazy. Because again, they're special forces, so they're on edge. And the thing about it is, McAllister, who's played by Mitchell Ryan, he is the one that's. Yeah, Metro, like General McAllister is the one that has to keep Mr. Joshua in check, because Mr. Joshua is all about killing people efficiently, and McAllister.
That's what I'm about, son. Killing people efficiently, quickly. Like my favorite thing is actually sticking a needle inside of the penis. Now let me tell you something about sticking needles in penis. Hey, we first did it back in Nam, right? Now about the Vietnamese penis. It's actually bigger than a Chinese penis. Sit down, son. It's not homosexual at all. Anyway, now these penises, right?
Now, over the course of the movie, like if we're going back to with Riggs and Murtaugh, is that like they are questioning, like homeboy's daughter because like what she was involved in, because basically Murtaugh finds out, like, hey, she was doing more than just doing drugs. She was, a prostitute.
Yeah, so, I was like, okay, so it's a little prostitution ring. Or
it's more than that. It's more than that, because apparently she was also a porn star too. So she was triple threat.
That's the trifecta.
She was triple threat.
Hey, how did you like? It needs to be a meme of Danny Glover with those.
Oh, what you say?
Bottle glasses looking at porn.
Man, look, those 80s glasses, that's like the Robert De Niro and those them glasses on. That level.
You know what would be worse though? I mean, how about her dad? The dude's dad. I mean, come on. You know the old crust rock jokes? It's his job for his daughter to stay off the pole. Well, the dad, pretty much porn star, a drug addict, and a prostitute.
She was on the pole, and then
Let me tell you something. There's nothing a daughter can do to shame his dad. That bitch tried it. So
I'm just saying, like she went all out now. But the thing is,
YOLO, nigga.
Man, listen, there are certain things that happened, and that was one of them. And she was on the pole, and it's like, hey, what
she was on more than that pole.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you this. But the one thing I will say is this: I think '80s coke is on the level of present day weed. Like it was a beautiful time.
I mean, it's the '80s. I mean, what can you do?
That's what I'm saying. It was a beautiful time for cocaine.
It is what it is and stuff. But like that first shootout that they have in the film, basically what sets the tone for like the movie going forward. It's like at that point, Murtaugh actually trusts Riggs, straight up.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty amazing. There's actually the one scene where Riggs building with the crazy dude. And
do you want to jump? Do you really want to jump?
Do you really want to jump? You really want to jump? Yeah, I want to. Go ahead, motherfucker. Kill yourself. That's all.
Look, let's go one scene at a time, dude. Let's talk one scene at a time. So when Mel is talking to the dude up on top of the building, saying, "Do you want to jump? Do you really want to jump?" And they just jump off. And it's like, wow, okay. And it's like, again, Mel Gibson going full-blown, like, he went full-blown tunes with that shit. And it's hilarious.
I thought that would be the ending. I was like, yep, of course it would.
Of course it was. Stuff, but like, when he pulls it to the side.
Only in a war about this movie.
And when he pulls it to the side, when he's like, man, if you want to kill yourself, go ahead, kill yourself. And he puts the gun up to him, and then he clicks back the trigger, and Murtaugh's like, this son of a bitch, you really are fucking crazy. Son of a bitch.
And I was thinking to myself, you can't do this. That like the way that we take suicide now compared to back then are kind of different. You know what I mean?
But it's like, but the thing of it is still, because the thing about it is when you watch the film, you could tell that Murtaugh's family is starting to get to Riggs to where he isn't as suicidal anymore. over the course
Yeah.
of the film. Because he literally tells Danny, Murtaugh, Riggs tells Murtaugh, yo, dog, I got a bullet, and I always put it in this gun, and I'm ready to fucking do it.
Because he said, you know why I picked this hollow point bullet? Because it'll get the job done.
Oh, hollow points are no joke. Them shits will blow your brain off, and it's done.
Yeah, it'll explode the back of his head off. Clean.
And again,
get the job done.
I agree. For a movie to get that serious, it goes from, okay, Riggs did some fucking goofy shit, and he got serious. It's like, holy fuck. Like, wow. Whiplash.
You know what? It's kind of funny, Chris. Like all movies in this type of genre, they get really serious, and by like the later half of their movies, they don't have the same pop. It's what I call the Bushback, because by the third movie, there's a whole lot of comedy.
Well, I mean, they had to get it out and stuff, because it was funny, because I remember Danny, and again, because this movie is so 80s, Danny has the old school cell phone that looks like the fucking shit from World War II when they had to call up a fucking American shit when he's talking to the fucking the police psychologist, and he was like,
yo, man, that thing looked like a hospital bag. What the hell was going on here?
And like,
it's the 80s, D. You gotta roll with it.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy too. But the fact that like immediately after that scene, he's talking to her and he was like, "Yeah, he's fucking crazy." Like, I mean, why did you not know he was crazy? I told you this. And again, we get the famous line.
And then the line deport became a meme.
The other thing, look. Earlier when he was going down all the list of what Riggs had, he's like, "You like some lethal weapon, huh?" Ha! He said it.
He said it in the movie. Yes.
And bam, title right there. And Joe Silver saw that. He's like,
"Oh, so lethal weapon is based on Riggs, huh?" All right, whatever.
Yeah. And then Joe Silver saw that line, says, "Oh, and that's it." That's
fucking moneymaker. Hey Shane, get off that hooker's tits right now. Come right here.
Hey, I like
what I put.
But you know what's funny though? I like the fact that like the police scene, nobody cares about the scene being like tainted because they're watching a fucking when somebody got murdered in the living room by fucking Riggs, and he's just watching a hockey game like. And Murtaugh's looking at him like, "So you close dry, dog? You ready to go? Come on, let's go. What the hell, man? Like, hey, this hockey game is great."
Man. hey, man, you got the great one planned, so you know they had to. That's like the white man's like when it's like basically like the white man's like like the NBA and everything else. And like, "Oh man, this is great. Hockey's so awesome," and then no one really.
I got money on this game, dog. I got money. Now we cut to later on in the movie. So they're at the dinner table. Real talk. Rianne is making it known that she wants some fucking Riggs. Straight up.
All of that vanilla shake, nigga.
Now, I like the fact that her brother and sister are busting their balls on that shit. And I was laughing. I was like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's some brother and sister shit right there. It's like, all right, cool. The mom knows what's up because Trish knows what's up. She really does like Riggs. Okay. All right. I guess this is innocent enough.
And then you see Murtaugh. Murtaugh's like, "What I tell you about looking at my white boys? What I tell you about this shit? Don't be bringing it down here." I'm sorry. Murtaugh looks like he had said that to her, and then he had to go to her later on. "I'm sorry. Your mama said you're supposed to love her. You should love, and I understand that. But them white boys ain't to be trusted." See Danny Glover doing that.
Hey,
and then he gets over.
Side note, did you love that old school Coors can that they were drinking out of in the back of that boat?
I love everything. Chris, let me be honest with you.
It was pure 80s.
I love everything 80s in this movie. It wears its badge very well in this movie.
I love it.
I will say that. It's a good slice of the 1980s, and I like it. I really do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It doesn't matter. Did you like that background? Nigga, I have already climaxed.
Well, I climaxed at the fact that Murtaugh, he does the usual black... Like, there's some black fatherhood moments in this movie. It's a little bit just the way he... Again, we talk about him interacting with his family and stuff. But I find it funny, like, he does a typical, like, he's up in the middle of the night and he's going to crack open a beer.
and shit. And he's all like,
And that was a cool little moment.
Yeah.
And that was a cool little moment because he got caught smoking a joint in the house. Now, this is what D say. Bitch, you lit up in the house and your dad's a cop? You're stupid. Second of all, very cool, very relatable black moment where she said something. Y'all can sit out here and drink beers and all that shit, but I can't hit a joint. And Danny Glover said what all black parents said. As of right now, beer's lit ganja. I'm sorry, baby. Yeah, whatever. It ain't right.
Now, I think it's wrong.
Now,
Exactly.
you know what's funny?
And the fact that Mel Gibson agreed.
Yeah, but guess what? A lot of black parents are like that, and some black parents just don't be smoking that shit in my house.
Now, what makes it
So
funny?
I can still smoke it. Just don't be doing that shit
in my house.
Yes, I'm gonna be smoking weed every day.
Now, what makes it funny? Riggs flexes his white privilege when he just rolls up in the house the next morning and goes up in the bedroom and was like, "Hey, Murtaugh, here's some coffee." And I'm like, "Damn, dude, motherfucker is like balls deep in sleep, and you just roll up on him like that. Come on, man, can't be doing that."
I like how they took their time to talk about what they.
Yeah,
it's like the reason why I said that is because they go from the house. They go from the house to driving to the gun range to finally get into the gun range and to where they're shooting guns off to talk about what they think was going down. I was like, why did y'all talk about that on the way over there?
but again, it's progress though. But I find it funny. But I like it. I find it funny in the fact that, like, again, we're comparing their skill level because, you know, old versus young, right? I like how Murtaugh is so proud of himself that he takes his time and does that whole neck crack thing and shoots a hole inside the fucking target. He's like, "Yeah, you see that? That's patience." And then Riggs turns around right here, pulls it back, and Murtaugh looks at him like, "Fucking show off. God damn it. I get it. You're special forces. Shit." Again, because we gotta show Riggs being hot shit.
Yo, I did say that one. The only thing I have to say is this: he made a smiley face. That's bullshit. He only shot 4 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did he make a smiley face?
You know, something else I really loved about them is he does the buddy cop pair. Is how much later in the future their dynamic has been put into comedy skits. And one that just came to mind. One that just came into mind for me, and it's got funnier. Like, one of the funnier ones was back in the good old days of Mad TV when they did the Riggs and Murtaugh stand up at the Ha Ha Hut.
I barely remember that.
I remember it to this day because, first of all, Aries Spears played a magnificent Murtaugh.
Man, listen, Aries Spears was
Aries Spears is amazing.
Mad TV was just on one easily.
They were on ones, like, without a doubt, with especially with that sketch was like one of the funniest ones they ever did. They took one of the oldest jokes ever, Who's on First, and they turned it into Riggs damn near about to commit suicide.
That was hilarious.
I'm trying to remember the guy. Wait, dude from Mad TV. Who was that guy who played?
Tall, it was a tall dude, lanky as I don't know what.
Yeah,
he played
dude.
McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell.
No, I don't think it was him. It was somebody else. But like
Not
he played a perfect fucking Mel Gibson as
He's the
Riggs.
same guy who plays the Stewart character.
Yeah, I
No.
know.
It wasn't him. It was somebody else. I forgot. Fucking hold on. Cause
Like I said, it's McDowell. I don't know his first name.
I thought it was McDowell. I really thought it was McDowell. Michael. Yeah, thank you, Michael McDonald. That's what it was.
Actually,
McDonald.
nah, dog. It was fucking. It wasn't Michael McDonald. It was the other dude. Shit.
Like burn holes?
No.
If you type in 1998 Mad TV cast members.
That's what it was. Shut up, man. 1998. Because it wasn't him. I know for fact. It wasn't.
Okay. Let's see. I give it Artie Lang.
Fuck no, it wasn't.
No, hell no.
David Herman.
Nah.
Brian Callen.
No. Franklin. Pat Kilbane. That's the one. Biggs.
Oh.
Yeah, Pat Kilbane. Pat Kilbane did a perfect fucking Mel Gibson playing Riggs. Like, he went there, and it's fucking hilarious.
That's why now, like, anytime the subject of Mel Gibson in the movie about to kill himself, I try my best to take it seriously.
It's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna kill myself.
But I just can't do it because at this point, that shit's become a joke now.
Now, here's the thing. Now, what made it funny is going back to that you jumped ahead to, thing with the house exploding. Now, again, this is something that movies have gotten away with for so long. If that were to happen in real life, Murtaugh and Riggs' brains would have been scrambled in their heads.
Yeah,
based on how close they were to the house.
Brains would have been turned into mush, and they wouldn't have been able to hear shit.
Or at the very least, they would have had a little piece of wood sticking right into their ass.
This is why I like Hero and how they approach that, because I like how Arnold, when the house exploded, he got launched 50 feet and survived, and the black cop was like, 2 days to retirement.
No, how about the fact that the cops were in the trees talking about 2 days to retirement?
Then had the nerve, and then had the nerve
launched that high in the air and died.
Look, and then had the nerve.
No, I'm sorry, D. You're laying in a fucking palm tree. How do you die from that?
Then they had the fucking nerve to play in the fucking Last Action Hero movie the same saxophone thing that is in Lethal Weapon.
Now,
oh god, I need to. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. Drinking game for every time that saxophone sting comes in.
That saxophone sting is good and annoying. Isn't it?
When this series progresses from 2 onward, they abuse the shit out of it. By the way, they really do. Now, here's the thing. This is where the movie goes south, because when the kid sits there and tells Riggs, I was the guy, he's tall, and he had blonde hair. And he was like, okay, because at this point, the kid is just basically talking about generic white person 23 and shit at this point. That's when the kid points out, like that. And it points to Riggs' tattoo, and Riggs looking at Murtaugh like, okay, shit's serious now, because we're talking special forces here. And
I don't think there's going to be a movie that's going to do the same. So I feel confident in saying shit has just got real.
Oh, it got real.
No other movie is ever going to take that. No buddy cop movie is ever going to take that same line for me.
Yeah. And like Riggs is breaking it down like, yo, these motherfuckers. I know the guy. Yeah, we got to be on our P's and Q's at this point, because they mean business.
So who knew that we have a reverse bidding in this case? That we got the Australian that is fighting the American, in this case, American. So yeah.
No, but what makes it crazy, because early in the film, though, going back, Mr. Joshua is fucking with one of the general's boys in the bar. Just the real was fucking batshit crazy.
Oh yeah, that's where that famous scene where they light my fucking arm. Now let me tell you something. I don't feel a goddamn thing in my arm anyway. The way it happened, interesting thing. Happened in Saigon, went back in Nam, right? 5 hookers, all beautiful. One was a transvestite, but that's the way I roll. Anyway, son, the best part about it. Now, so the girl starts jerking me off, right? Then the French guy comes. I mentioned the French guy. Now, let me tell you something about the French. Beautiful penises. Now,
what makes it crazy?
Sir, why do you keep mentioning penises every 5 minutes?
It's like,
what are you talking about, son? What you talking about, son? Let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong about talking about another penile to a man. There's nothing gay about it. There's not in this world where Donald Trump is president, and at the same time, we got to learn that a black man named Barack Hussein Obama went into the White House. Thing is possible. Also, I think the New York Jets are going to lose the next game. Let me tell you something. I hate the New York Jets. Can we talk about football? God damn it.
Yeah. So what makes this whole thing?
Oh my god! I'm exhausted.
So what makes this whole thing funny? What makes the whole thing funny is that because Tom Atkins is playing Danny Glover's boy. Tom Atkins, he's one of those guys that plays in a lot of movies in the 80s. What I remember him was from Night of the Creeps and stuff. But I know he's been in a lot of. I think he was in Creep Show too. So when the movie gets serious, Fucking Mr. Joshua rolls up there in a fucking helicopter and just shoots up the fucking damn place.
I mean, he lights my boy up and all that. And I was thinking to myself, it's a bit overkill. You know, one bullet would have done.
Nah, man, screw it. Hey, you got the whole clip. Go overkill, man. If you don't, it's wasting money right there.
Yeah, but I find it funny that Riggs unloads a whole clip at the helicopter. I'm like, hey, Riggs, the helicopter's gone.
Yo, actually, you know what, Duke, I like that philosophy. You know, get your money's worth. You unload that. I bought all those bullets. You use them.
Now, here's the thing.
But yeah, I love that. But yeah, and to go back on what you said, Chris. Okay, Mel, I understand it. I mean, Riggs, I understand it. But me playing GTA, shooting at an airplane that's far away, yeah, I get it. But no,
bruh. What the hell did he thought he was gonna hit shooting a 45 with a freaking chopper, a moving target that's already clearly
yeah.
How awesome would it have been if Gary Busey would have been like, yeah, looks like me, and he gets hit dead in the head and falls out the helicopter. Game over. He just
now that would have happened, I would have just said, boy, how 1980s can you get?
Now
that was great.
Now here's the thing. Riggs already knows, okay, so they know that we're investigating them. They're going to try to kill us. Riggs is death. And he knows Mr. Joshua was going to come after his ass. So Riggs is basically playing like he got out, he was getting some beer for the night and shit. And Mr. Joshua rolls up there and shotguns his ass through a fucking damn store window. I was like, holy fuck.
Now, here's the thing that gives that.
Hold up. Only to have that same effect be used again in the with Method Man and Belly.
Yeah, to poor effect, but still.
Yo, I don't know about that, man. Method Man did back on combat roll out the motherfucker, shot back at some cops and rolled the fuck out of there. Hold up, he survived. So
exactly.
I think Method Man did very well.
Now here's the thing.
And also, do not forget the greatness that is Busta Rhymes. So he told Michael Myers. So
also, no, hold up, real quick. When he combat rolled out, notice he combat rolled out in that bright ass camouflage gear.
Whoa, yeah. I just realized something. Dude, did you read that Busta Rhymes busting in the window and to that same effect and beating the shit out of Michael Myers? Did you just mention that?
Yes.
Trick or treat, motherfucker. Flip mode squad.
If he's not in the new Hall, pressing his heck, man.
Well, guess what?
Now here's the thing. So at this point, Riggs, he gets shot through the window. Murtaugh was from a distance and stuff. So Murtaugh and Riggs is like, oh my god, that shit fucking hurts. Which, I mean, let's be real about this. A bulletproof vest it protects you from bullets, but it probably hurts like a son of a bitch.
Ooh, it's supposedly.
I'm sorry. Joel, you mean to tell me that, what if you just shot him in the head? This is talking about Richard. You don't let it happen. He shoots him in the chest. It's a fucking movie, man. You gotta let the motherfucking hero live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How long have you been? Hold on. Wait, Joel. 5 fucking days. Holy shit, I think I just came again. Look, dude. Look, this movie is fucking perfect.
So he gets shot through. Gets shot through, and basically what ends up happening is Riggs is like, "All right, here's how it's gonna go down. They went after me. They're gonna probably come after you." And that's when it was like, "Ah, shit, he's right." They get home, come to find out, they kidnapped Rianne because she was on.
I mean, they kind of swept in very quickly.
Well, she was on a date. She was on a date with the boyfriend. So they swooped her ass.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really have to say this. You 1980s off-camera kidnapping.
I'm fine with this.
Exactly.
I don't need to see it. Just imply it, and that's it. That's all I need. Because movies now, they would have showed Rianne being on a date with the boyfriend, and Mr. Joshua can be like, "You're coming with me." Ha ha ha.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Basically,
actually, no.
Like 2 hours in the movie. Make the movie like 3 hours.
Actually, you're giving modern movies too much credit. Modern movies do this shit to you. The girl will get kidnapped and they don't explain shit.
Yeah.
And then add minutes to it and be like, oh, the girl tries to escape. She just does some kung fu. She knows out of nowhere.
Oh, so that's what happened. Why'd you just say that in the fucking first place? Yeah, you just wasted 20 minutes though over no type of fucking.
So what ends up happening is the general leaves a note, and I guess apparently Trish knows that this is happening and stuff because Trish was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna," basically Murtaugh basically jumps ahead of her and was like, "I'm gonna get our daughter back." So we're like, "All right, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna have me. They're gonna have her out in the desert. This is what's gonna happen. They have her in was it Mojave Desert? It looks like."
Well, of course, it looks like the Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
That's
Of
LA's
course, it's the
desert.
Mojave Desert.
Yeah. So basically, what ends up happening is Murtaugh drops Riggs off from a distance and
And
stuff.
Riggs, I had to admit, looking badass, running through the fucking desert
Man.
with a fucking sniper rifle on his shoulder. No bullshit.
In his
And
members
this guy-
only.
in a members only jacket. That
This
nigga's
is
beasting out.
80.
And I mean, hey, look,
1980s.
and you also have to appreciate the panel station wagon that Murtaugh clearly has. That's like so 80s. It's funny.
Man, I can smell the wood grain. It smells
Hold up.
like
Hold up, CJ. I gotta ask you this then. Who did it better as being a badass and a cop? Riggs Mojave Desert with the sniper rifle, or freaking Billy Rosewood in Beverly Hills Cop 2 with the freaking duster and the two shotguns.
First off, Billy Rosewood looked like he watched fucking what's the fuck's name of that hard boiled or before with the shotguns.
He just watched old Chow Yun Fat movies.
He saw A Better Tomorrow. I'm gonna say A Better Tomorrow because that's
Yeah,
what he was
Better
pulling
Tomorrow.
from. That's what he was from. He just came from seeing A Better Tomorrow the previous night and shit, and was like, all right, fuck it, this is what we're gonna do. So, yeah, I would say both. I would point towards Riggs a little bit because Riggs was just straight to the point with this shit.
I mean, keep in mind they both came here.
Yeah, so it works and stuff. But what made it cool was that Murtaugh is like, all right, Riggs is dead. I want my daughter back. And like, all right, we'll give you your daughter, but we need you. And I like how Murtaugh had the grenade in his hand. And it's like, hey, I'm going with my daughter. Bring her over
the
here.
pit is out. The pit is out, motherfucker. They killed my daughter.
I mean, hey, look, man, he fought for that, man. That motherfucker was like, nah, I'm fighting for it. And I like how the fact that, again, it's so 80s, there's a helicopter circling around to make sure
Of course, there's
nothing
always
is
a
happening.
helicopter.
There's always a helicopter.
There's always one helicopter out there in the air with like infinite fuel just sitting there. Like,
Thank you, the infinite fuel
Infinite
fucking
fuel,
helicopter.
Hold up, infinite fuel, and if it's a gunner, infinite fuel and infinite ammo. Everybody's rocking the they're either rocking the Infinity Ammo bandana or the Infinity Ammo face paint.
But here's the fun part about it. Here's the fun part about 80s helicopters, though. The life bar is incredibly low, actually.
Oh yeah,
So-
Two guns to the fuel tank, and that's it.
No. It depends on your 80s movies. Because if it's Rambo, holy shit, that helicopter is surviving.
Yeah. I will say that it doesn't matter, but for your standard cop movie, oh no, they're very easy to take down. I'm really surprised that Mel Gibson missed, because if he shot it once, that thing blew up.
No. No, man. Let me tell you something. You know what the best one was? The best helicopter, I think it was a Steven Seagal movie where it was one of his directed DVDs where he just sat there, shot at the helicopter was spazzing out, and then after a couple seconds after he shoots the handgun, it just explodes.
Yeah, I mean, well, makes it funny.
Because much like Seagal and the CGI is not going to.
Now, what made
And the sad part is, I think that was his double who shot it down.
Now, what made it funny?
Oh my god! You know it was Steve. Can you do that shot again?
Now, what made it funny? What makes it seem
eat a hoagie, be like this. No.
Yeah, I'm on break, dog. I'm on break, dog.
Has a look. Like, not gonna happen today. All right. Xiao Ming, come over here. Xiao Ming, she touches me all the time.
What makes it fun? Now,
Excuse me, I gotta be a sheriff in Arizona.
Also, Also, Vladimir Putin is a good man. And also, no, I am not action star Donald Trump. Leave me alone.
Excuse me, why I this glasses to make me look like an owl?
Oh,
Manga. Manga, Blue Lives Matter. Save the Indians.
Oh man! Now you know what's funny too is that the whole scene, you got, Mr. Joshua not believing Murtaugh, like, it's a grenade. This motherfucker ain't gonna throw it. I like how he just shot Riggs because again, Mr. Joshua is just batshit crazy. Shoots him, the grenade falls down, and Mr. Joshua's like, "Ah, shit, it's a grenade." And I'm like, okay, but why did you shoot him though? Like, what was the point of this? So, but anyways,
because he had enough foresight to play Metal Gear Solid in the future, where you can shoot the grenade or the walkie-talkie into the guy's hand, and it would, fall apart.
Yeah. So basically, he shoots him. The grenade turns out to be a decoy, and Riggs is shooting the shit out of Mr. Joshua. Immediately was like, "Ah, shit, Riggs is alive." Ah.
Oh no, CJ, it wasn't a decoy. That was a real grenade. It was just a smoke grenade.
Oh, okay. Well. Yeah, that wasn't the typical grenade that we know.
Come on, you hurry Busey's teeth. It's a smoker.
Yeah, I mean, granted, you know what? If it was a real legit like explosion grenade, it probably would have killed Mr. Joshua and them because grenades in the 80s, that shit has a fucking radius of like a mile and shit. So
I can see that.
Yeah,
a 1980s grenade. Yeah, it would have had enough reach to take out the car.
It wouldn't have took out Murtaugh. Murtaugh would have just been like behind the wreckage of his flipped over fucking Rambler and shit, and be like, "Ugh, I have 2 more payments left on this damn car. Fuck." So, in the chaos of it and stuff, apparently the general knew where Riggs was and shit, and before Riggs could get the kill shot on Mr. Joshua, the general's like, "It's over, Riggs," and basically they got Riggs and Murtaugh. They beating the shit out of Murtaugh. Riggs, on the other hand, his fate is quite possibly on the torture level. Now, I gotta be real here. I think we torture nowadays, when we talk about waterboarding, is tame compared, at least to me, is tame compared to what Riggs gets. Because, wow. Just wow. The torture method is ridiculous.
Definitely ridiculous.
This man gets fucking electroshocked. I'm wet, by the way.
I love the fact that it's just it's just water just coming down from like a drain, and he's just getting wet up, and you see the electroshock. my man sponge.
oh! But hold on though, by our boy from fucking Die Hard that stole the fucking Mr. Goodbar.
Yes. Yes. There's it's the 80s. It's an action movie. You need an Asian henchman with a mustache, immaculate.
And he does the job because he comes in there and and Riggs is like, Mr. Josh is asking him like, "Hey, so what do you know? What's the information?" And Riggs is like, and we know Riggs is lying. And Riggs is like, "Yeah, I don't know." He's like, "Oh no, you know." And he's getting shocked, and Riggs is like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, okay. All right.
Now, I think something I do want to point out, like CJ, is, seeing that we get our boy, Mr. Asian Henchman, real talk, that's one dude I wish I could run into at SDCC.
He's still out here,
He is. It would just... it would be just on our way to an interview. We just happen to bump into him. I'm like, oh shit, like, yo. My only question for him would be, so how does it feel to play a henchman for every bad guy of the nation?
Yeah, and the thing of it is, it's like over the course of Mr. Joshua asking him, so do you know about the shipment? Where's the shipment at, Riggs? And he's like, nah, I don't know. And then all of a sudden he's like, so you guys call it heroin? Is that what you call it? Yeah, it's a rather large shipment. You know where it's at. He's like, that'd be too bad. We might have some cops there. And Mr. Joshua is just looking over to the guy like, yeah, just go on ahead and just shock the shit out of this dude. This guy, yeah, clearly, let's just do this. So at this point, Mr. Joshua, because he's going to where the shipment is at and stuff. And let's just be real about this. This is something that, as the course of Lethal Weapon series goes, you don't leave Riggs alive by yourself. You don't be by yourself with Riggs, because Riggs will kill you.
He's like Jason, when you think you're done, next thing you know, you got a machete up your ass.
Because Riggs decides, oh, I'm getting the fuck out of this shit. and he snaps dude's leg with his leg, and I'm like, that's fucking hardcore.
You know, here's an interesting thing. What if Riggs and Jason left alone? Who would be the one walk out? Who will walk out the room?
I don't know, man.
I still got to put money on Jason, because after seeing everything that Jason went through, and the fact that he got stabbed in both eyes by Freddy Krueger and made it out of that shit in Freddy's head, gotta go with Jason. The man survived. No, I'm sorry. Until Riggs can survive entering Earth's atmosphere with one of the greatest character actors pushing him, I got nothing. I got nothing on Riggs.
I mean, Riggs is crazy. He has that going for him.
Okay, that's crazy. But dude, what's crazy gonna do against an undead fucking zombie?
True.
But then again, the thing that Riggs, the thing that Riggs has in his corner is that he's not a horn.
That is true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He
okay.
It's like plus 50 to dexterity.
Okay, that's plus. I mean, okay, that might be true. He might not be a horny teenager, but guess what? He might have the survival rate of the Virgin movies.
Yeah, that is true and stuff. So what makes it funny is the fact that Riggs he escapes, and the fact that Riggs just sits there and I just like how he effortlessly snaps a dude's neck. Just like it was just all in one hit. Snaps a dude's neck, shoots these guys and stuff, and manages to free Murtaugh from the general and stuff. And at this point, I'm like, well, I'll really do a good job of tying Leanne up, because she can easily get out of that, but okay. So at this point, we get a chase sequence that I'm like, okay, so Riggs apparently can chase somebody on foot. Like, he got the speed of the Flash, apparently.
Murtaugh with the speed of the Flash. There's an Elseworld story. Imagine if Murtaugh was the Flash.
But I like how he caught up with him, though, because he caught up with him. He catches him, shoots at the car, and he loses him. Meanwhile, Murtaugh catches up with the general and takes the general out.
Because that needed to be done.
Well, it needs to be done, and also we need that ass moment, because I thought that was great, honestly. I thought it was just awesome. He takes out the general because the general kidnapped his daughter and stuff, and I gotta be honest with you, it was very much poetic in a sense, because he died inside of his car with the
grenades.
Two grenades just sitting there in the heroin, just right there.
And all it took was for the grenades to get lit on fire.
Yeah. And I thought that was very poetic. It's like, hey, you deserve that shit. You very much did deserve it.
Can we also point out that that we get Murtaugh as no, I'm sorry, we get third act wife beater Murtaugh.
Man, listen. He is a father on edge. And again, Danny Glover was actually in pretty good shape. He had a dad bod a little bit, but he was still in good shape. Couldn't tell.
Well, he is a dad in the movie, so yeah, it works.
Yeah, it works. Hey, look.
No. Wait, CJ, you did it wrong. This is 1980s dad bod.
Yeah, clearly that's a thing and stuff. But what makes it cool is that I gotta be real about this, man. In terms of endings to movies, this ranks up there. What movie? I don't know whether this movie started this whole thing. I just like the fact that this movie ends with essentially Murtaugh and the rest of the cops telling everybody, all right, guys, circle up. Let Riggs and Mr. Joshua fight it out.
Yeah, everybody, just let them go ahead and fight each other to the death. That's what we do here at the LAPD.
Because we're men.
I'm like, yo, let them have it out. And I'm thinking, shoot them. Let's just shoot them.
Let's shoot them.
It'd be quick. Y'all gotta wait.
You already got Murtaugh as an accessory to murder.
Mr. Joshua has a body count. I'm like, you could have just put a bullet in his head. You already got him.
Like, y'all have the fact that Murtaugh is standing in the back. He's standing in the crowd, being an accessory to murder by yelling, "Break his fucking neck!"
I'm just saying. And then on top of that, man, it makes me feel that if gets a hold of this, oh my God, PR nightmare.
Exactly. Thank goodness it wasn't today. It would be like edit video or like live streaming. Heck, they'll probably have a remix like breaking fucking net.
Yes, is that there was a helicopter hovering over it because again, it's the 80s. You had to have a helicopter, and it looked like some shit like live from the pay-per-view live from the pay-per-view. We got the fight of the century.
I'm sitting here like, you know what? Only the 80s. I'm sorry. Only the 80s can make a final fight scene look like the final boss scene in a really good video game. I'll say that at least.
That's what I was gonna say. You have the final scene is definitely the perfect setup to a video game. It's out of nowhere. It's raining. You got the helicopter circling them, and then we get two guys fighting in front of a single family house.
No, but what makes it funny leading up to that though, I like how the build up was essentially Murtaugh and Riggs getting the jump on Mr. Joshua before it finally like gets to that fight. And I was like, all right, I guess they're fighting it out. And again, it ends with them literally. It's like, first off, why would you think that you can just Joshua after that fight and think that he was just going to go away peacefully? Like, what made you think that was going to happen?
I need to pull. Okay, I really want to talk about that part. Okay, what was it about like good old 80s second in command second in command sub bosses where not only do they
was he a sub boss? Because I don't know, man. Because he felt he was on par with the general, man. It felt like he really
no. He was a sub boss. No, he was underneath. He was a sub boss. Clearly, the big man sub boss. He was the Sagat of this thing.
But hear me out. What is it with these badass sub bosses? Not only did they survive all the way to the end, or they fake it and make it look like they come back right at the end and do something where they're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna take out somebody before the damn credit rolls," and of course they end up getting themselves killed. But
if it was today, they'll be like, okay, the sub boss become the major boss in the next movie.
Yeah,
in the mid-credit scene.
That's how it is nowadays. I mean, it's not like how it was back then. Back then, with characters like Mr. Joshua, like freaking Carl, loved him. My man just emerged out of nowhere.
I gotta ask though. This is a good question though.
Yeah.
Which movie had the better dramatic, like, shooting of the sub boss? Lethal Weapon or Die Hard?
Okay. Not only is that a really good question, but it's also kind of unfair because it's unfair because you had the beautiful shot of both Murtaugh and Riggs turning around and slow blasting the shit out of Mr. Joshua, whereas what we got was just we just get a panel shot of the gun being fired, and we just see bullets going into Carl, and then we see the slow-mo. No, we see the of freaking Carl Winslow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, both of them were badass. Don't get me wrong; they were badass because like Bruce Willis said, they got to use your gun, huh?
Yeah.
There was that, and that's all that was building up to. That was all.
There was a storyline behind that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was a better build up to that. Whereas with Lethal Weapon, for something like that, I mean, action movies, especially during that time, that did the same thing, that's kind of expected.
Also, respect to Mel Gibson for kicking the shit out of Gary Busey and Reeboks. Them shits were clean.
Yes.
We got at least 3 good shots of pure Gary Busey teeth.
Yes, we did.
When you watch the movie for the pure crazy and the teeth and everything. Without it, you're just like, notice that point. I mean, that's a waste.
Notice that when he was laying on the ground in defeat, my man was like laying in the mud, completely dirty and everything. Them teeth, nigga. Glistening. Colgate is sponsoring the fuck out of you, aren't they, Gary?
Yes, it is.
Because my man turned around to grit his teeth in pain and shit, and I'm like, bro, your teeth is still immaculate.
Oh man. Side note about that fight though, too.
What toothbrush do you use?
Actually, I don't use a toothbrush. I use a cactus. Actually, also,
because I'm a man. That's why.
Cactus that is painted with the red, white, and blue because I'm American. Damn it.
Actually, I was going to say it's neither of them. It's actually Arm. It's really that's what I like. See, Arm and Hammer do.
See, I learned about the street. I learned about the street back in 1976.
Actually, I learned this way back in 1945.
So
Right
wait,
before I
Gary,
was born.
okay.
My mom was.
All right, let me get this right, dude. Yo, hold up. Gary Busey doesn't age.
No. See that?
He doesn't age.
Oh man.
Gary has been between. Well, he clearly looks like he's 70 now, but still, I'm just saying.
Hey, that's a guy. That's a guy that almost died, and now he's finding like newfound like, dieting and shit now. And I was like, yeah, good on you, Gary. You're taking your health seriously. I like that. That's.
I
cool.
swear, if he goes on some Pat Boone shit in the next 10 years, I'm gonna be so bad. Oh, I'm gonna be so bad. Like, I got a question. Do you believe in Jesus Christ? See, that's the problem. You're a sinner. You always want to be with those homosexuals and deviants. Like, oh my God, Gary, you used to be cool. I mean, I hope that does not happen.
I mean, 74.
The funny thing about it is that like here's how I know. You know, it's funny. We make excuses for a lot of like people that we like and stuff. I'm at a point now that I think Gary is crazy that he supports Trump, but I don't think he knows that Trump is racist. So I started coming with him back in the 80s. He can't be that bad. I'm like, hey, Gary, he's racist. Like, come on, dog.
Look,
like,
I gotta be honest with you. I have to be honest with you. A part of me thinks that Gary Busey is racist.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Gary looked like he's like, I love the blacks.
I love
I'm
them.
sorry.
See, this
I'm
is
sorry.
why I like them.
Now,
Gary
hold on.
Busey
Now, see,
is just smart enough. No, it's like this, guys. Gary Busey is just smart enough not to say the word nigga when there's a background. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say.
He's like, and I don't think he could put that hard R without just ripping his throat out. You know how intense he is. Like, I don't like no. Oh,
Well, I can hear he did 2 Master P movies.
He likes black people. Well,
He loves the Browns.
I love those Browns.
like, I just remember, like, somebody asked him about, like, whether he supports Trump. I think the way Gary was framing his answer, it just was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think he endorsed Trump. He was just like, I mean, I like Trump. He seems like he's a cool guy. You know, he's a nice dude and stuff. But he didn't outright say that he supported Trump. So it's like, I guess he supports Trump. Shrug.
I don't care.
But anyway,
it doesn't matter.
But either which way, so they kill Mr. Joshua, and you know, Riggs comes there and he delivers this box, and you know, and she's like, it's a bullet. And he's like, well, your dad knows what it means, and he's walking away, and Murtaugh's like, hey, Riggs, come on, man, you're family now, and you know, hey, we don't need you to be lonely on Christmas. And
on top of that, no, hold on. Now look, I know good and damn well that I'm not about to sit here and eat the worst the worst turkey in the world by myself.
And that's at the ends. As both of them
well, also, you forgot Riggs has a collie, and you know.
Oh yeah, that's my man called Lassie out of the damn truck.
Yeah, you know, which thus starts the comedic trope of 2 and 3, where Riggs, you know, starts eating doggy biscuits. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. We're gonna pace ourselves. We're gonna pace ourselves on that one, because that's when Lethal Weapon 2. I gotta be real about this. 2 kind of held some serious moments, but 2, like, once you introduce GA, now we're getting wacky. Let's go.
Yeah. But 2 is a classic, though.
Yeah, 2 is classic.
And then at the end of the day, you have Joe Silver with his now Bio Coke, says, "Whew, I'm done. Now what's next? Oh yeah,
what's next?
Oh, Action Jackson.
I know, right?
Get that. Who is that black guy who was in the Predator?
Carl Weathers. Let's go.
Get Carl Weathers.
Get Carl Weathers. Get him on the phone now." Actually, no. One guy says, Bill Duke. No, not that guy. No.
Somebody get Apollonia. We could get Vandy. Whatever, man. Do it.
They're both the same.
Oh, you canceled. Oh, we got to do it.
Why we
get Sarah Stone?
Why do I sound like Vince McMahon now?
Too much coke will make you sound like Vince McMahon.
Yo, why does he just walk to his office? He's like, Carl, you son of a bitch. He tries to do that same thing, and he like breaks his hand because Carl Weathers is the fucking man.
Yeah, he tries to do that shit from Predator where they did the fucking manliest handshake and shit where he's like, Carl.
He just got his arm.
God, I'm sorry. That is like quite possibly. There has been no movie that ever replicate that. I don't know what.
None.
Ever. Just
They
the
can't-
manliest.
They saw this, said, that's it. We're out.
We can't do that shit. That was the manliest shit
gay-
ever.
That was one of the gayest, manliest handshakes of all time. That's how you do it.
No. The manliest and gayest shit ever was all of them. Was all of them pulling that fucking rope on that damn tree.
Nigga. Let me tell you something right now. Now, I know nowadays women. I have to.
The boys.
Now, here's the
I mean, come on.
thing. Now,
Hold on, CJ, real quick. I mean, come on. You got testosterone, all that man sweat and Alan Silvestri music playing.
Let me tell you something. I have to imagine. Now, look, we all, we got girlfriends and wives and stuff. Now, you know how most women, they see those kind of scenes like, that's a man. And then it's like, babe, I'm right here. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Nah.
so it's like, I have to imagine, like, if they tried to pull that shit in, like, Predator to remake that whole scene, I gotta imagine the logistic to where
It'll be so stupid, man.
It would definitely be different because for one thing,
But this is an upgrade.
for one thing, if they were to do that, if they were to try to do that same thing today, first of all, none of those guys would be like even if they were shirts, they wouldn't be on the same buff level as the dudes from 80s.
Let me tell you something, man. Them motherfuckers had like 8-pack showing, flexing while pulling a tree down. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Here's the only downside. But here's the downside, but it's actually, I mean, not the downside. This is the improvement of it all, though. There's not a woman that's looking at least there's not a woman looking at Jesse the Body Ventura and saying, ooh, that's a man's man. Embarrassed that she's with. At least that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So there's an improvement.
Oh, let's be real too. Let's also be real too, though. Like, you look at that scene. That's why if you go back to Danny Glover in this movie, I appreciate, like you said, Aaron's pointed out the whole thing with Danny Glover and the wife beater. Such a dad look. The white wife beater and shit.
A normal look.
That's the most normal look ever.
Now I'm surprised. What I'm surprised by that they didn't take that trope by having the white beater be white, and then by the end of that scene, it turned to fucking desert.
No, they went opposite. That shit had like a little speck of blood because he did get beat up, but that shit was still crisp white.
No, because you remember that's what happened. You remember that's what happened with Bruce Willis. Like, they got it white, and then by the end of the movie, it was a completely different white beater.
That shit was brown. I was like, holy fuck, man. Blood and sweat. And I'm like, I mean, that's not how this works, movie, but okay.
It really doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's, this is Lethal Weapon. I like I said, I love this movie. I know. Here's my thing. It holds up. Personally, to me, it holds up.
It does. I agree. I think
still
it's
holds
really,
up. Go ahead.
It really comes in as, like we all mentioned several times, all of us mentioned, it's a classic. You can't beat it, man. It wears its 80s badge very, very proudly, and it's a really good buddy cop movie. One little bit of criticism I have, it feels kind of long.
Yeah, because it doesn't get going until, like I said, when it gets to that point where that house explodes, that's when it kicks off, and it's like,
yeah, it doesn't really kick in until about 40 minutes in.
I really didn't feel like the movie was like super long to me.
Yeah.
It really doesn't feel super long because
I think because you're invested in the movie.
It was just clocking in under, but it felt like, you think they would have wrapped it up? That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm saying. It wasn't like it was like killing me or nothing like that. It was just that if there's any criticism, that'll be it.
I mean, because you're invested in the story so much that you don't really give a shit at one point. That's
what it is it's more of, and we all done this. You look up like, there's still 10 minutes left.
Right.
And you're thinking to yourself, well, did it?
Yeah. So yeah, it's like I said, it's definitely it's definitely a good movie and stuff. And as we get into the series and stuff, it's funny too. Side note, Michael Biehn was going to.
Hold on, dude. Did you have something to say about it?
Oh yeah, good movie stuff. And that's the real thing is like it got more personal, more grounded. Because then when the series goes on, oh boy, it just gets more jokey,
in a good way, though.
Until 4, and then we'll get to that later.
Four is interesting. 4 is just so interesting.
There's a lot of moving parts in that movie. Let's just say that.
With 4, can we? God, I really don't want to ask this question, but I'm gonna ask it. After seeing 4, could you see them making a 5?
No.
Well, they keep talking about it.
They talk about it, but I think it's the thing of they got the TV show. It's doing well. I don't think you want to.
Oh, but no. What I mean is cut out the TV show. TV show didn't exist.
Oh.
Like,
I think they were considering it, and I think Mel and Danny were like, "Nah, we're good."
I think it was Mel and Danny. I think it was at that time. It was like, I'm way too old. I'm really too old for this shit.
I'm getting into dramatic roles right now. Let's not do this.
You know, I would have laughed. Because I would have laughed if they had did this. And I feel like Sylvester Stallone was he missed a good spot because he did get Mel Gibson for Expendables 3. It'd have been awesome even if he was just in one scene, have Danny Glover there.
Yeah. I mean, and the funny thing is, so apparently 2 people were apparently going to be Riggs in consideration. Michael Biehn, which I can see.
That could have worked.
Yeah.
That could work.
Yeah, probably could.
And, coming fresh off a Terminator. Yeah. It could work.
That would have been a really good career jumping off point. Because you gotta remember, Michael Biehn just ended up doing sci-fi and small roles after that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you gotta think if he would have had one more big major movie like Lithium and he actually pulled it off, it would have been huge for him.
Yeah. Now the other person, Christopher Reeve.
Superman?
Yeah, Superman. Superman was considered because he worked with Richard Donner before, and Donner wanted him for it, and Christopher Reeve was like, "Nah, I'm down." I'm like, "Oh, hey, good on him." You know, because it's hard. That would be hard for me to see him as Riggs. Michael Biehn I can see because we're used to him in Aliens and all those movies. So it's just Christopher Reeve. It's like he seems like more such a dramatic method and see it. You know. So, but yeah. Now General McAllister, on the other hand, these were some good choices that they were considering before they finally landed on Homeboy. James Earl Jones.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
Peter Doyle.
Sell the cocaine.
Yeah.
Sell all of the heroin.
I can see it. I can see that. Peter Boyle.
Huh, Peter Boyle.
Yeah. Huh. Robert Duvall.
Really?
I can see Robert Duvall.
Bruce Dern.
Really? I could have seen Dern doing it. I could have seen Dern.
And Lee Marvin. I can see
Lee Marvin.
I wish it was Lee Marvin, honestly.
Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
I kind of wish it was Lee Marvin a little bit.
I kind of do too now. I do too. Wow. That's funny.
You think they could have got the bad guy for Beverly Hills Cop 1?
Now, here's the funny thing about who they were going to get from Mr. Joshua before they got Gary Busey. And these are all choices that it's like, 2 of them I can see. Scott Glenn.
An inanimate firecracker actually created.
Scott Glenn was one of them.
Glenn? Yeah, I can see Scott Glenn.
Christopher Walken.
What?
Yep.
Nigga.
What? He would if you thought fucking Gary Busey was over the top,
Christopher Walken would have
Chris Walken, that
would have been. This would have been legendary. This would have been so legendary, man.
Yo, you can just imagine it. Mel Gibson's doing the whole little crazy thing, and Christopher Walken like, "Come on, I want it, bring it, yes."
I would have loved every bit of that.
James Woods, which maybe
James Woods would have been too okay. It would have been okay with James Woods.
Keith Carradine.
The other one that doesn't a lot of people don't talk about that much because he didn't do shit.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Okay, real quick. Could you imagine Tommy Lee Jones sticking out his wrist and getting it and like getting his wrist lit on fire? And having
unenthusiastically.
And having enthusiastically making the Tommy Lee Jones face.
Now, there's one more name that came up on the list of that. Stephen Lang.
Nope.
Stephen Lang, the guy that was from Avatar. He was also considered too. So yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
that dude. You know why we say no? Because quite honestly, does anyone remember Avatar? No one actually talked about it, and yet they're gonna try to make that to a franchise.
So much no.
Yeah. So. Man. Yeah. So. Anyway, that is Lethal Weapon 1, and when you come back, we'll be talking about the greatness that is Lethal Weapon 2.
And it gets better.
Oh, it
and
gets
also
better.
gets wackier.
The heat is on. Oh, sorry about that. Wrong movie. Anyways, we'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.
Perfect.